Okay, question number 1 says, ovulation is the release of one mature sperm cell each month. It is false because ovulation happens in the what? Female. And it is the release of what? An egg cell each month. Okay? So that is false. Next question. Fertilization usually lasts from 5 to 7 days and happens about every 28 days. False. It's not fertilization, it is, somebody said it, menstruation. And we're going to talk about ovulation, fertilization, and menstruation more today. A fertilized egg becomes implanted in the lining of the uterus. True. Okay? All right. We are going to, I'm going to finish this. Okay. Another quiz. It is the male one. I don't, last class, some of them didn't log out. Some of them logged out and were able to do it. I don't know what you need to do. Okay. Ovaries are found in females. Sperm is found in males. So this cannot happen. Ovaries produce what? Eggs, or ovum. Do you guys see on the board? O-V-U-M. That's the technical term for an egg. All right. What produces sperm? Starts with a T. Testes. Okay. The ovaries and the testes are the reproductive organs that produce the cells that we need to reproduce. If you don't have a sperm and you don't have an egg, we cannot reproduce anymore, and the human species is over with. Okay, sperm are the male reproductive glands. False. They're the cells. The male reproductive glands, once again, starts with a T. What is it? Testes, or reproductive organs, or they'll call them glands. Okay, urine and semen leave the body through the urethra. That is true. Okay, there's no separate tubes for those. All right. So right now, log out, swipe out, send them back, and the person in the back, you're responsible for putting them all in the right spot. The rest of you folks quietly work on your extra credit while that sheet. So get up male, female worksheet. If you're not done with it, this is your chance to finish it and then put it in. Okay, number 1, cervix is letter C. The lowest part of the uterus opens to the vagina. All right, vagina is letter D, where the menstrual flow leaves the body, also called the birth canal. Ovary, circle number 3, and then circle letter A, because ovary is A, makes hormones and stores egg cells. All right, 4, uterus, letter E, where fertilized egg grows, also called the womb. 5 is B as in boy, fallopian tube, a tube that draws ovum in, where eggs and sperm may meet, and where fertilization occurs. Circle 5 and circle B, because if you notice, there are 3 things that the fallopian tube does. On your test, you may be asked something about the fallopian tube, and it may be 3 different questions, all asking this thing, what the definition of it is. Okay. Male, epididymis, letter E, where sperm cells mature. Urethra, letter B, carries the semen and the urine to the outside of the body. Prostate gland and seminal vesicle is letter C, add fluid to sperm. Vas deferens, letter D as in dog, carries semen to urethra. Testicle, circle 5 and then circle letter A, makes sperm and hormones. Okay, and if you look at the word bank, basically what it did is ask you the same questions, just in a different what? Way. All right, so your test may do the same thing. All right, number 1, the testicle makes sperm cells and hormones. Number 2, the fallopian tube is where a sperm and egg may meet. 3, fluids are added to sperm by the prostate and seminal vesicle. 4, egg cells are stored in the ovary. Okay. On your extra credit sheet, all right, I know there are 2 things, we've talked about them. One is testosterone. I think that is number 1, isn't it? Okay, so circle that. You're going to have to know that testosterone is the hormone that the male gland secretes, male sex gland secretes, which is what? Male sex gland is the same place where sperm are produced. Testes, okay? Remember, testes produce sperm, produce testosterone. And we can remember that because testy is in testosterone. All right. Number 17 is estrogen, correct? So circle that. Estrogen is produced by what female sex gland? Ovaries. All right. Both estrogen and ovary both start with a vowel. I don't know if that's maybe one way you can remember that. Okay. So I know those are two things we've talked about, and that's like the only place where you can study those things. Quizlets. Raise your hand if you guys got two emails about Quizlets. I'm also going to send out a Remind 101 about it. Okay? Study those things because your test, you guys, if you know the vocab for this test, you are going to do great. Because these are all terms that, number one, make us uncomfortable. Number two, they're terms that are new, like vas deferens, Cowper's gland, prostate. You know, you don't run around saying those things every single day. Fallopian tube. Okay, so we need to make sure that we know what we're talking about. Okay, we're going to do a little review. I've got a smartboard activity here. Okay, define conception. And conception is another word for fertilization. So what is fertilization? Yep, so if you guys watch this, it's really cool. The process of the sperm fertilizing the ovum, or just simply those two meeting. Isn't that neat? Sadly, all my other animations on this have gone away. Where does fertilization occur? We just went over this twice. Jake. Yep. One thing you can remember this, both start with what letter? F. So if you can somewhere on a worksheet circle the F so you guys can remember fallopian tube fertilization. Okay, like I think I'm supposed to tap this and it was supposed to get big and small. Didn't happen. Once an egg and a sperm unite, they are referred to as, right away, yep, you're called an embryo. Actually, right away, you're called a zygote for the first 24 hours. All right, then you guys are called embryos. Okay, then after 8 weeks, you're called a fetus. Okay. All right, name the reproductive cell for each gender. So what is it that the females have that help us reproduce? Egg, and the males have sperm. All right, are we right? Oh. Okay, if an embryo doesn't implant, or if there's no fertilization, all right, the egg or the embryo will leave the body during the menstruation process. Sam, how is it going to leave the body then? It's true because ovulation is when the egg is released from the ovary. We're going to talk about that just a little bit more here. We haven't totally talked about this yet, so. All right, now we get to label, and I have to make this little. Okay, here are our parts. So let's just look at the bottom here. What can we start with? What two body parts can we start with, or one? Okay, testicle, right here. Okay, this right here is the what? The little sac. Scrotum, it's not up there. Okay, and what is this place where the sperm mature? Starts with the E, epididymis. Okay, it does have all the glands right here. Okay, we have gland 1, gland 2, and then gland 3. Okay, this one is the size of a pea, this one's the size of a walnut, and this one looks like your pinky finger. Okay, prostate gland is the middle one. It's the one that's the size of a walnut. Okay, seminal vesicle is the first one. And this is the Cowper's gland. Okay, what is this tube right here? Urethra. Okay, what is this tube right here? Yep, vas deferens. Okay, and then this right here that covers the urethra is the penis. There we go. All right, so, oops. Oh, the bladder. Any other ones? Nope. Where's the bladder? The big thing with the line, this thing? Okay. So those are our parts. Here is where it's the vas deferens, vas deferens, vas deferens. It goes past all three of these glands. Then all of a sudden, like right here, it's called the urethra. Same tube, just different what? Name. Okay? All right, so now that we did the male, we have the female. All right, and there's a garbage can down here. So there's some words that don't belong, such as, all right, if you guys listen. Oh, the garbage can slams. Testicle. Yep. Okay. Sperm. Normally doesn't belong, but do we have one? Yep. So we got, oops, right there. Okay. What's this part right down here? What it? Okay. Yep. So this is the vagina, also known as the birth canal. Okay. When we slide up a little bit, this right here, this whole thing is uterus. Okay. What's this little opening? Cervix. Okay. What are the little walnuts, these shaped things? Ovaries. What's this? Okay, so fallopian tube, ovary. Then we have this word endometrium. Anyone want to take a stab at where that's at? We've kind of talked about it. I think I maybe said the words once or twice. No. It is the lining of the uterus. That's what's shed. When we talk with the lining of the uterus, we said is shed during menstruation. Okay, that's what it's called, the endometrium. Okay, so, and then I think we got them all right. All right, a couple things here. Ovulation, ovum and ovary. I'll start with what two letters? Ovi, okay? And they're all dealing with the ovary. All right, what the ovary is the female sex gland. Inside of it, it is creating what? Ovum. All right, ovum is the scientific name. Our common name that we call it is an egg. All right, so it's producing an ovum once a month. Once a month that is released, and that's called ovulation. Okay, so once a month one of these eggs is matured and it is released, and that's called ovulation, and then it travels down the fallopian tube. Okay, what we're going to talk about next is fertilization and menstruation. So I have another little, right, not the greatest. I like it, but it doesn't show up the best. Okay, so in here, this is a what? Ovary. And in there you can kind of see the egg maturing. And right here you can see it being released. And you can kind of see actually how the fingers are, the fallopian tube, those fingers are grabbing it and sweeping it up. Releasing of the egg is called what? Ovulation, yep. Okay, and that egg is called, what's the ovum, okay? And it comes from the ovary. All right, you can't see it, but right here, this little dude, right, there's the sperm. All right, that sperm swam and made it all the way to that egg. All right, it penetrated the cell membrane and it fertilized it. Okay, for the first 24 hours, you are called a zygote. Okay, and that's just the first 24 hours, you're a zygote. After that, you are called an embryo for 8 weeks. And that's developmentally what's happening. What do you suppose is happening right here to the cell? What is the cell doing? Growing, but what do we call that? It's forming. What are the cells doing? Once the two, they're dividing, right? They're dividing and making more what? Cells. And that division process, okay, it's a zygote right away, and that division process has a lot of different names. One of them is a blastocyte, once it divides a few times, and then it's called an embryo after a few, like I think after a day. All right, but most of the time it's just called an embryo for our sake. You can kind of see different cells forming. Okay. It takes about 2 weeks for it to totally implant. All right, and this little trip, let's see, about 7, like this happens, and then it travels down here. That might take about 7 to 8 days, and then about another 7 to 8 days to actually implant. All right.
7 to 8 days just to get to the floor.
Yep. Just because, and it's doing things while it's not just like duding out there. It is like dividing, and it's creating cells and those cells are starting to have different jobs and do different things. Okay? Um, the embryo then, once it's implanted in the lining of the uterus, which we said was what word? It starts with an E? Endometrium. Endometrium. Once it plants in there, it is an embryo up until 8 weeks. All right, so like the first 2 weeks, what you are a zygote, or you're a zygote for the first day, and then you're an embryo. All right, and then you're an embryo up until week number 8, and then we call you a fetus. Okay, so what did these things look like? All right, here's what a zygote looks like, and you can kind of see, what do you see there? Some splitting. Okay, here is some more splitting. You can see some more what? More cells. Okay, and then after 8 weeks, and I don't know when this is taken, okay, but after 8 weeks, that embryo, okay, now becomes a zygote, okay, and this is its what? Its umbilical cord, and it's connected to the endometrium, and the endometrium is full of blood vessels, all right? If none of this happens, all right, so no fertilization occurs, all right, then what happens is that egg in the lining of the uterus is shed, and that's the menstruation. All right, and you have to think about the lining of the lining of the uterus, the endometrium, is a whole bunch of blood vessels, so when it's shed, that's blood. All right, because that's what's being shed. Okay, so backwards. There you go. So we have ovulation, fertilization will occur if the sperm is there, all right, and then if it's embedded, we went through all that, and then if not, the fertilization doesn't occur, then it's menstruation. Okay, you guys right here in the front, we've got some terms. You have a male pile and a female pile. You need to take one, all right, and then one of each, and then you need to pass one back of each. So everybody, like, and you two rows are going to work together. You two rows are going to work together. Do you have some on your desk? Somebody should have put them on your desk. Do you have them on your desk? Or did they all get pushed on your desk? I must say you have a lot. All right, so you two rows, 1, 2, 3. Christopher and Tanner, come up here, Tanner. Here you go. Are these my boy ones? Here you go. That's for you. Ovulation. Yep, epididymis. Urethra, menstruation. Menstruation. Urethra is a boy one. 1, 2, 4. All right, here's 4 for you. Egg mature. Yep, that's female. Okay, nope. Everybody's going to get a paper clipped. You have to have a paper clipped because there's. All right, did you get boy or girls? Okay, so you have boys. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so those are boys. And those are ladies. All right, there you go. Okay, so girls. So take one boy and pass the rest back. Yep, you take the whole paper, one paper clip. All right, take one paper clip of this and pass them back. Okay, take one paper clip. There you go. Okay, with your side-by-side partner. So, your side-by-side, your side-by-side. What? Well, I know you don't, because this is your side-by-side partner and they have them. Okay, now you guys, it wasn't that difficult. Girls are all in a paper clip, boys are all in a paper clip. You should have 2 paper clip piles, boy pile, girl pile. All right, if you're missing something, like what don't you have? You don't have the girl pile. Okay. Do you have a boy pile and a girl pile? What do you have? All right, perfect. And you have a lot of piles. What do you have? You have a boy pile, so you need a girl pile. There you go. All right, so take out your girl pile. I'm going to tell you your first one is an egg. What is it? It is, nope, an egg matures. Start with that one. And then put them in order. So scoot with your partner who's side by side, you guys. Woofda. Okay, well, keep them together.
What do we, like, we have two of those same ones. How do we
Okay.
put these in order now?
Yep, let's put those over there. Egg matures. See it, this one. All right, there you go. Okay, so we have, first one is an egg maturing, correct? Number two, after it matures, what has happened? Ovulation. Okay, then there's no fertilization, so then what has happened? Egg disintegrates, and then menstruation, then new lining. Okay, so you have egg matures, ovulation, egg disintegrates, menstruation, new lining forms. Okay, paper clip those, kind of mess them up so they're not in order. So my next class, and now paper clip all the female ones together. Okay, find the male ones, and you should have four, and put the male ones in order. Okay, where are we starting with the males? Testicles, testes, and then the sperm are made in the testes. They mature where? Epididymis. Then where do they go? Vas deferens, and then they pass the three glands. All right, they pass the seminal vesicle, prostate, Cowper's, and then what? The urethra. Okay, kind of unorder those. Put the paper clip on. All right, hand them forward. So I want Jake to have them, Kylie to have one, and Zoe to have them. And Kylie, Zoe, and Jake make a girl pile, a female pile, and a male pile. All right, test is going to be on Tuesday. You've got your green colored worksheets to study. Diagrams will not be on there. Okay, so it's going to be vocab. It's going to be true and false. So study your worksheets, study the Quizlets. And if you really get bored, you can rewatch the classes because I have them on podcasts. All right? Who are these for?